All right, what's up, guys? Monday the 11th, and your pal is fried. Not that kind of fried. I'm just tired. Been at my desk since I don't know 5 o'clock in the morning. Indicator updates, webinar slides, the market, life, all the moving parts. But yeah, webinar coming up here on Wednesday, and you're all invited. We'll talk about a few of the indicator updates, a couple of the new indicators you guys haven't seen, and then the real to do here is going to be what we're doing with my leaderboard. Taking that spreadsheet and turning things up a few notches, which, if you're in my room, you know this has become pretty much the entire system. We got the squeeze, the trigger, the A plus. We got all those things. This has become the foundation. Am I in a bull market, a bear market? Are we neutral? Am I thinking day trade or swing trade? Am I thinking long or short? Who are my best sectors? Where's my relative strength? Where's my relative weakness? And I think the difference between following that system and not following that system, that'd be the difference between this batch of trades. Right, so here is 28 trades of about a 50% win rate. Now, don't get me wrong, you can be profitable on a 50% win rate, but if you look at the other batch here is another 70 trades. These are closer to an 80% win rate. I think an 80% win rate is a little tougher to mess up. The difference between this batch and that previous batch, I think in a nutshell, following that leaderboard. Taking context of the indexes, what kind of market am I in, who are my best sectors, where's my relative strength, adding more layers of edge around that one squeeze setup. So more on that coming up on Wednesday. Link in the description here for the webinar. Come hang out, grab a few adult beverages, and it'll be a good time. I will send you home with a mighty fine watch list. But all right, guys, so let's take a peek here at, well, let me hide that real quick. I gave you an involuntary sneak peek. Too tired to go back and change it. So, all right, more on that coming on Wednesday. But all right, so leaderboard for today says there's a gap between the QQQ, the S&Ps, and your other indexes, which won't be an issue until it's an issue. But we have the QQQ at 90% of max strength, the S&Ps at 87, and then the Dow Jones at the sad little 12% at max strength. Just means you have a very, very tech, very SMH heavy market. At any point, those kinds of things soften up. If you don't get that big immediate rotation, market maybe pulls back a bit. The unthinkable could happen. But all right, so QQQ leads the charge. S&Ps are pretty sharp. I don't care too much right now about the IWM, the Dow. And then sector-wise, we got the XLC, the Big Ten basket. XLY, which I think is maybe a lot of Tesla. Kind of like in Tesla. XLP and the SMH. Your bad boys are healthcare, energy, real estate, and all the other characters. For my Big Ten basket, my favorites, Google, Nvidia, TSM, Broadcom, Tesla, Meta, Apple. We could work with those guys, and then Netflix, Microsoft, not too bad. Amazon, she's got some work to do. So till things change, the immediate focus list is Google, the Big Ten basket, Nvidia, QQQ, TSM, the Broadcom, the S&Ps, Tesla, Meta, and the Apple. All right, quick peek here at Big Mama QQQ, the biggest of the mamas. And the only thing missing here for a big breakout would be momentum on our daily squeeze. All right, check the indicator. We have our structure. We got the trend. We have 13 out of 15 points. We ain't getting that full 15 until we get momentum. MACD bars down here are below 0. That doesn't mean you short it. Doesn't mean the squeeze fire is short. It just means to go and call for a big breakout like the one you had back here with momentum. It can be a trickier game, so keep that in mind. Otherwise, again, until things change, I think with patience, a squeeze that does want to go and break out. I am wrong on that idea back below the 21 EMA. And then looking up here, we have a 4-hour buy trigger, a 2-hour, and then things got a little neutral here today on your hourly 30-15. So maybe after the old CPI report tomorrow, we're getting getting a little bit more action. But yeah, no big issues there. And then for the spiders, they're kind of in the same boat. It's a really good looking daily squeeze, but you don't got the juice. You don't got the Momo juice. And hey, if you want to take that for a ripper into 6,500, you probably need momentum. So it's a little bit of a hurry up and wait game for that. But all right, working through a few of the Big Ten here. NVIDIA is in A. If I could type, that would be helpful. We got the old NVIDIA in a 4-hour hourly, 30-minute, and a 15-minute squeeze. At the moment, I would fancy the hourly squeeze. Right, part of the update is your green arrow, and you got the white dots here. Squeeze, 15 points, and I think about the best entry you're going to get. The sweet spot. So I like that on the hourly, and then, again, kind of that same problem here for the 4-hour chart. You want to call for a big breakout. You want to call for a big rip into a $1.90. Their best chance of getting that is you have structure, you got trend, you have a big squeeze. Then you go and get yourself some momentum, which we haven't quite got on the 4-hour chart just yet. If we could get it and they give that thing out, we get it, and at that point we're near that buy zone. I think it's a 4-hour squeeze I would love to trade. Patience on NVIDIA, and then we got some Broadcom on the books last week. And Broadcom, I do like that 4-hour. That's why I bought it. Momentum, structure, trend, and you have the ideal entry. So I like that one. Let's go jump over to Google, who had a pretty impressive move here last week. So for maybe a shorter term, call it continuation idea, you're looking for 1 hour, 30-minute, 15-minute, maybe 5-minute squeezes. So yeah, depending on the CPI report tomorrow, we'll maybe come take a fresh look here at the 15-minute. The bigger picture on Google, I think, really can't get any better. Monthly squeeze, A+ setup, checking all the boxes, hasn't even broken out yet. Market willing, I think, a path here into eventually, 225, maybe 250. Till that changes, I think you buy every 15-minute, 30-minute squeeze, buy every pullback, catch it where you can catch it. So there's Google. Let's go jump over here to the one kind of creeping up the leaderboard, Tesla. Admittedly, there's better daily charts, there's better names on the board overall. What I do like about it would be the fact you have a big nested squeeze. Squeezing on the weekly, the 3-day, the 2-day, and that daily time frame. The keyword here being could. The one that could eventually kick off a path back into 400, 420, I think could be your weekly squeeze. Check the indicator, and we have 13 points out of 15, so it leans pretty bullish. We've got the proper trend. We have the proper structure. We're waiting on, you guessed it, momentum. MACD bars are below 0. Yeah, in the context of a 3-day, a 2-day, and a daily squeeze behind it, if they can go and get the trigger here for the weekly, again, I love the idea of a out the money 400 call. I like the idea of a big butterfly. I'm thinking maybe a 400, 425 call debit spread. Give that bad boy time to work, and to our benefit, if we can catch it early, we are working a better risk reward. No trigger just yet, so y'all know the saying, right? No trigger, no trade. We'll maybe get it on one of our lower time frame squeezes first. Looking for the white or the green arrow. But yeah, Tesla's maybe shaping up here. And then we'll wrap it up here, guys, with a look at the Big Ten basket, which I shall grab just over yonder. Okay, so these are my favorite 10 names in a weighted basket. Google, NVIDIA, Amazon, Broadcom, Tesla, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, all the above. And this does have a really, really good-looking daily squeeze. Momentum, structure, trend, all the pretty colors. If that can break out, we'll find out if it can. If it can break out, that would imply in the short term maybe another 2.5% to 3% upside in the overall group. Then the goal is, all right, who ranks out maybe top 3, 4, or 5? Then I'm jumping in looking for 15-minute, 30-minute, all the squeezes. And then let's go look at maybe a 15-minute for tomorrow. Yeah, we've seen better looking 15-minute charts. But yeah, if I could give you guys two things and two things only, it'd be the Big Ten basket on a daily squeeze and the cash QQQ, also in a daily squeeze. Again, for cash QQQ to nitpick, and part of my job is being a nitpicker. Yeah, you have structure, you got trend, you have compression. The final ingredient would be momentum back to the buy side. So yeah, hope y'all found that helpful. We got some Broadcom here in the room. We are looking for a shot at some point here in Tesla. And as mentioned, a lot of exciting things coming up here, indicator updates, new indicators, and more importantly, some great stuff coming up here for the leaderboard. So check it out, webinar on Wednesday. I appreciate you guys. And, some way, shape, or form, you've all been a part of it. So again, thank you. Talk to you soon. Adios.